So Frederick, welcome to Zeroqode series. It's super exciting to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, and your story is something very special for us, for me, and for this conversation, because we definitely are speaking to a lot of founders, to a lot of entrepreneurs, but we never had a case when we can talk to a person that has explored the, let's say, the templated way of creating and launching his application. This is very exciting because a lot of people get started one way or another. They try many things. Some things work and the other things don't. Your case is actually a shining example of something that did start from, we'll talk about how it started. We'll talk about where you came from, but the interesting point for us and to as the creators of the template and big believers in the template approach is that that can be very helpful at times for launching it even faster. With all the speed and fastness of no code as it is, I mean, templates can add another level to this. But without further ado, let's get started. Okay. So Frederick Gimpel, welcome to Zeroqode series. Can you tell us a little bit more about your background? I mean, no code world has a particular property of attracting people from all over the world, from different industries, different backgrounds. So what is your background?
Well, I have always worked in marketing and a very sales-oriented person. I have no idea about developing or code or anything like that. I used to work for major brands in the market, in the automotive industry down here in Guatemala, and for about 18 years, and got fired in 2016.
Okay.
And then experienced a very hard financial crisis. And I actually used Bubble to rescue myself. So I founded Hive, and then with the help of God, I'm a Christian. I'm not a religious person, but I have to admit God works in my life. So the journey has been incredible.
Wow.
I developed my first app, starting from zero, from scratch, using JavaScript. And the whole developing process was really painful. It took 3 months longer than what they offered me. It was really expensive. And when the final product was delivered to me, it didn't work. It needed some changes. So I had invested a lot of money that I didn't have. And I went to market. It was my first experience developing. So what I developed didn't work. I needed some changes. Every time I asked for a change from my developer, I had to pay him like $100, $150 more dollars. He took 2 to 3 days. And it was a really painful and horrible experience. And, I started thinking there must be another way to develop. This can be it, Right. And then I stumbled upon Bubble and started trying to teach myself. It was kind of hard at the beginning. In order to understand the whole thing. And then I started watching the YouTube videos. I stumbled upon you guys, and that's where the whole journey started. So teach myself, and then I started a partnership with a developer, with an engineer in developing, and he taught himself to develop in Bubble, and we started this business, and it's been really great.
This is great. Frederick, you've just told the whole story, like from end to the very, very beginning.
Well,
everything.
Now we can get into the details, because there are things that are really special about our company, because we don't sell you the app, we don't sell you the software, we sell you the go-to-market. That it's really different than what our competition does here in Guatemala, because it's really important, if you're in technology, to fail really soon, as soon as you can. So we need to go to market. We need to validate the idea, to see what doesn't work, fix it really quickly. And that's what we love about using your template or using Bubble, because it allows us to make changes really quickly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So let's return to your initial experience. So you were saying that even to your background. So you were saying you were working in marketing, then you had a business in automotive industry. So which means that you're probably haven't been very tech savvy when you got into this, right? So you had an idea, you had a passion, and you were trying to make things work, but there was no background. You didn't do any development on your own before stepping into the no-code world. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. No, never, no developing background, no idea what I was doing. So it was really frustrating, you know?
Yeah. In the beginning, it can be like, anything worth learning shouldn't be, available to everyone, I guess, and shouldn't be too easy to learn. But yeah, once you're into it, it really starts kicking. So about your experience with a developer, was the idea that you're developing similar to the idea that you later on launched yourself, or was it something else?
No, it was something else. If I was to develop again the same idea, we could actually do it like in a week. But no, it's something else. My life has developed. I have learned. I'm looking into other things. The idea, the original idea was to record. When you sell anything, it's really important to identify your customers' needs. Yeah. So what this app did is listen to the customer's needs and then send those needs in real time to, for example, if you need a vehicle, what type of vehicle, what size of vehicle, and then we send the customer with his needs to any company that sold a product that could fulfill those needs. That's what it originally did. And but now the whole software is dead. It was done it's in a USB somewhere. Had to pay, we had to pay for our own hosting. It was really expensive hosting, like $500 a month.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, and the thing didn't work. And I remember this time that I needed to change the color of some titles inside the app. And the guy took 3 days.
Wow. Okay.
Like the color.
That's a lot of days.
Yeah. It was frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can very much relate to this because our journey and discovery of No Code World was almost exactly the same, word for word. We were working on the app. My co-founder actually was working on the app, and it was long. It was expensive. It still didn't work exactly as he always wanted to. And after spending a bunch of time and a bunch of money on this, we also came to the same conclusion. There has to be a better way. There has to be a different way. It doesn't have to be all that frustrating and long and expensive like that. And we also stumbled upon Bubble. So I guess that the one who seeks always finds. So somehow we both stumbled upon Bubble. Yeah. So great. Coming to the Bubble part. So you're in Bubble, right? So you're trying things out. You're learning it. Sometimes you're frustrated, sometimes you're happy with the things that actually work for you. What was the next step? How did you come up with the idea for your startup, for the marketplace that you organized, and what ways did you explore before you, let's say, chose to start from a template?
Well, actually, at this time, we have developed something like 158 apps using Bubble. So we have failed many times. And the story for this marketplace in particular, it's a very interesting story because I was near the Eastern weekend here in Guatemala. And it was Saturday. I didn't have anything to do. So I started surfing your templates and looking at them, and then I stumbled upon the loyalty template, and I said to myself, well, this will be a nice product. I have some experience with referral Condi, so I think the whole referral thing is really powerful because we have developed many marketplaces and then nobody uses them, or it's really hard to get people into your marketplace.
Yeah, two-sided marketplace. Yeah, chicken and an egg situation.
Yeah, and yeah, we have a term that it's called store cemetery here in Guatemala. So it's really important to know how to make your app work, how to scale it, how to get people to get into it, and we. So I started looking at this template, and I thought to myself, well, this will be a really great idea if we could develop a loyalty program and started selling it to our customers. And I think it was like 3 or 4 days later, I was in the shower and I had this inspiration. And I will tell you as a Christian that God talked to me, but respecting that not everybody talks to God, I said to myself, well, you know, you should really develop something to help all the people that was left without a job during the pandemic.
Right.
And I talked to my partners, and we started developing Enelinternet, that in English is on the internet. And yeah, the idea is that you get your store on the internet. And we decided to give it free for everyone. And the idea was that here in Guatemala, in most Latin American countries have the same thing, that we have many people selling over Facebook and Instagram. My wife is one of those people. She started selling over Facebook. She makes packaging, boxes and packaging stuff. So she started selling over Facebook, but the problem is that a customer will answer you over Facebook Messenger. And then we use WhatsApp really heavily here in Latin America. And then she migrates her customers to WhatsApp. And then she will ask for payment over WhatsApp.
Okay.
And then on WhatsApp, she will look for a delivery guy to deliver the goods, you know?
Right. And
then most of the customers get left in WhatsApp, inside WhatsApp. So WhatsApp becomes your CRM. And it really takes time from getting the customer from Facebook Messenger into WhatsApp, then making sure you understand what he's buying, and then looking for the delivery guy. So the idea was to use your loyalty template and make an app that could make all this commercial process really quick and help everybody that is selling this way to sell in a more organized way. So we use your store inside your loyalty app and redesign it a little bit. And then we allow all our customers to share your product into Facebook and Instagram.
Right.
And when a customer gets interested in buying from you, we connect them automatically via WhatsApp. We make the connection via code, API, wherever, and via plugin, sorry. And we connect both, and then so the process for migrating this customer from Messenger to WhatsApp is already automated. Then we capture all the customers' information. We build a CRM using your template. We just added some features, and now we have a full CRM. And we just build all the communications tools that these people might need. So everybody's connected. And then we automatically send all the information to the delivery guy that has its own page for deliveries. So the delivery guy has its CRM and everybody's connected.
Wow, full cycle. This is so inspiring in a lot of ways, Frederick. So there are a few things that I want to ask you about it, and people are sending some questions too, so I'll explore all of them if you don't mind.
Okay.
So yeah, first of all, I mean, wow, you have actually managed to launch a working two-sided, actually even three-sided marketplace. You have the buyers, you have the sellers, and you have also the delivery, besides the actual back office team. So it's like a four-sided marketplace, but let's say it's three. And it's usually people have a lot of great ideas about organizing marketplaces. Marketplace is actually one of the most popular ideas to be done on no code, because each marketplace is somewhat different and somewhat similar. And usually the similar things are the issues when launching it. So two-sided marketplace, it's tough because you have to get the customers interested enough to get on your platform. And while you do that, you have to have sellers interested enough to be on your platform. And they're both interested in them being there already, so that they can actually, get some traction. Otherwise, nobody wants to spend time on it. So I was wondering, how did you actually, I mean, in your case, I think you did the classical entrepreneur approach to, like, there are a few loose tools out there which people are using, and there's a lot of inconvenience, and you kind of created one tool that got it all together. I guess this is probably one of the secrets of how you got this marketplace working. But otherwise, what was your strategy of actually attracting people to your platform? I guess this is one of the questions that most people are facing all the time. How do you get people on your app, try to use your app, and for them to actually benefit from it? Because the more people are on the app, such a marketplace, the more people get benefit out of it, right? The more options there are, the more sellers there are, the more buyers there are. So how did you work with that?
Well, actually, I went on Facebook. We had like these entrepreneurial groups here in Guatemala that we help each other, and I just went in there and told them, "Hey guys, I'm thinking, I have a developing laboratory, and I'm thinking of developing an app to help everyone have their own marketplace. So who wants to help?" And we made this WhatsApp group. We had like to this day, we have 187 members on this group, and everybody helped with ideas, because we really wanted to make something valuable for the people. It's really important that they value your software, or else many people fail because they have this great idea, but it's a great idea only to them. So you have to be able to listen to your customers, listen to the user, and have the humility to change, because if not, you're gonna fail. So we have these whole ideas. I remember this guy showed me, he was using 4 different softwares at the time, and he told me, "Look, Frederick, if you can substitute all these 4 different softwares, you'll be my hero." And that's what I did. And then,
you did,
for the customer part, we're using the Facebook, Instagram. They already have their own customers there. Right. And we just added some information to the stores they share, so everybody that gets to see a product inside this store can make their own store. So we're starting to get some organic customers inside, create their own stores. And then we were contacted by someone in our government, and they wanted to see if they could use the app, and I told them, "Well, okay, let's go." The more people use them, and then we were contacted by somebody in Mexico that wanted to see if we could use it in Mexico, and the same happened with Costa Rica. So we are now we have stores in Mexico, Guatemala, and Costa Rica.
Wow, you're international now. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Great. So we have another question from the audience here. So Nikki is asking if Enelinternet.com is using a Zeroqode template, which you actually mentioned. The loyalty template.
It's been highly modified. Actually, we work on the software almost every other day, always making it better. But the nice thing about the Zeroqode template is that from idea to MVP, it was exactly 5 days.
Crazy. That was one of my questions. 5 days is really fast, even by our standards. So that's very impressive. Kudos for that, Frederick.
I have a couple of very impressive partners that really dedicated themselves and developed overnight. And it was, we dedicated our weekends. We have dedicated really a lot of time. And the really nice thing about it is that it has allowed us to some exposure, like you're giving me today, which we're very grateful for. And we have sold like 5 more apps since we launched a month ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Another question from Nikki is that what's the business model for Enelinternet? Is it free for everyone, or is it a non-profit project?
Free for everyone.
Free for everyone. So you're not monetizing it.
The model is the more you give, the more you get return to yourself, and we don't know where we're gonna end up. As of now, we have more than 400 stores created inside the software. We are closing in 3,000 products, and
wow.
yeah, and it's from the 400 stores. We have like 20%, 30% that depend on the software. We have we have testimonies of at least 7 people that have founded their businesses on the internet, and they're very grateful for it. And that's really rewarding, you know.
That's priceless, actually. I'm sure you have a lot of traction out of it for your team, for new projects, and a lot of energy. I think this is probably the most important thing. Yeah. Pretty cool. So you mentioned about pivoting and changing your ideas. So can you tell us more about that? So meaning launch something, see if it works. If it doesn't, modify it, see if it works best, and then modify it. What was the process for you?
What I always tell our customers is that it is not going to work. We will develop and we will stay with you until it works.
Right.
And marketing wise, I think it's very powerful to make your customers understand that your idea is one thing, but getting to the market is another one altogether. We try to offer them all our past experience from so many customers. And sometimes we get really stubborn customers that tell us, yeah, but I want it done this way.
Yeah.
It won't work, but we'll do it anyway. So you learn, and then we will change it.
Yeah.
And Bubble allows us to do it really quickly, you know. And
pretty cool.
I think it's really important for you to fail as soon as you can, so you can fix whatever is failing and get it to work.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the earlier, the faster you fail, the faster you learn. And fortunately or unfortunately, we learn the fastest from our failures, not from our successes. So yeah, definitely, I second you here.
And you know, you have all these tools out there like analytics or the Facebook pixel that will tell you exactly where you're failing. So it's really important that you can take all this data and realize that the place where you place your bottom it doesn't work. People are not finding. People don't know how to create their account and change it.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of that, there are a few more interesting questions that came from people. So, but let me ask you about analytics, since you mentioned what kind of analytics are you using? Because this is also something that a lot of entrepreneurs have to explore. The earlier, the better, like kind of to analyze whether this is the right direction that they're taking. And a lot of people ignore that, or they think they're going to wing it, but it's actually very, very important and crucial. What kind of analytics you're using, and how exactly are you fine-tuning your efficiency?
Okay, we're using the Facebook pixel, and we actually managed to allow each user to use their own Facebook pixel inside on the internet. So they can see if the customers here are where the customer get lost, and then we use Google Analytics, and basically that's it.
Pretty cool. Yeah. Okay, a question. There's a question, first of all, about marketing, and there's a question about capacity. We'll get to both of them, guys. Don't worry. So there's a question. You mentioned that, there's a lot of ways to kind of, you explored a few possibilities of reaching out to people, seeing what works for them, talking to your customers. And does that complement some other projects? Did you have some feedback and some other new ideas or new projects spinning out of this Enelinternet launch? So did you work for people that may have found you during working with your app or hearing about your app? Did it bring you some more projects? Did you explore like an agency or software freelance work? So how did that actually benefit you in other ways besides actually working on the platform?
Yeah, we have sold like 4 or 5 more projects, but this is the really crazy thing. I think that with a tool like Bubble, you can actually create another type of economy. that doesn't you know, the rules of our economy, the way it works, is really is not really up to date. And I think we could be, there's a term that my brother uses that is the democratization of technology.
Right.
I think everybody should be able to have the technology to create jobs, to create economy, to, you know, the ghost kitchen, for example, where if you are really good in cooking anything, you can actually go on the Enelinternet and just create a business out of nothing in like 2 or 3 days, because we already give you all the tools that you need to do it. So I think that's where we want to go. We want to keep connecting people. And I am sure that we're gonna find some more stuff that we can continue to develop into this economic community. Right. We started with the stores, we added the CRM, and we have a couple more ideas. We want to add a special part for selling cars, or more specific for the real estate community, you know. So we can, I think we'll start to fine tune some of the tools to help more people find it useful, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I think that you can agree that this is one of the great parts of being able to do it with no code. You can actually try as many new things as you like. You can fail in 90% of them, and if 10% of them works, you're a successful guy. So automotive, real estate, I'm sure there's going to be more ideas, and definitely good luck to you with that. Yeah, very inspiring. I mean, people are definitely saying that they can relate to your story, and this is inspiring in a lot of ways, and I agree to that. There's a question about capacity. So capacity is always one of the things that Bubble people are always worried about talking about. So how did you experience it? How much people are actually on your platform? How many accounts do you have? What's the traffic on the usual? And did you have any capacity issues at all while you were growing Enelinternet?
No, actually, we don't have any issues. We don't have any worries about it. I think we have made all the experience will tell us that it doesn't matter how many you get, because the thing will expand or contract accordingly. Right. So I don't think you're going to have any issues without about the capacity of Bubble per se. If you start growing out of control, maybe you can start looking into, you know, sending some of the data to other servers, but as of now, we don't worry about it. I think the Bubble has the capacity to handle everything that we've thrown at it. And as I told you, right now we have more than 400. We have 405 businesses as of this month. Wow,
that's a lot. Okay.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
And they don't have any limitations about creating products or users. They can just download all their data or whatever they want. And, you know, we'll pay for it. We'll pay for the hosting, and we'll pay for the development, and we don't have any worries about it.
Pretty cool. Thank you. Thank you for talking about this. Definitely, Bubble it's so much easier to scale an app on Bubble than it is on a lot of different other hosting platforms, and so much less expensive and so much more transparent. Yeah, so definitely there are big opponents and proponents of that, and there are different opinions, and we should respect both. But overall, our experience is similar. So if you do things right, and it's a breeze to grow. Yep. There's a question from the guys in here. So I'll rephrase it a little bit, but it's one of these big questions for tech entrepreneurs. So what was more difficult for you, creating and launching the product, or marketing it and making the business work for you and your users? What was the more difficult part?
I think it's more difficult to market and make the thing actually work, than the whole creation of the product. Once you really learn how to develop over Bubble, is really, I won't say easy, but once you understand it, the developing is really fast. So I think what you should concentrate more on is on marketing and making the thing work, come alive, live by itself, get shared. You know, that's really important. All the conversions are really important, and there's a couple of ways to make a conversion. You know, everybody knows McDonald's. When McDonald's the app was launched here in Guatemala, I think they gave away like 100,000 burgers. You know, if you download the app. And I know stories about people downloading 8 to 10 times the app because the server wasn't ready for the amount of users. And if the conversion is really good, people will do anything in order to convert. That's what we learned. So I think it's really important for the user to be rewarded for its conversion. And there's a lot of ways to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. We also agree that, I mean, it seems in the beginning that the most difficult part is actually building the product, right? And then it's downhill from there. But the actual work really starts when you build your first version of the product. And, you know, I think you can relate to the fact that the version of the product that actually lives on very, very different from what you started with. It is sometimes a completely different product in a lot of ways, at least. Was it the same for you? Or
yeah, you know, as I told you, it's really important to fail as soon as you can. And that's what I love about Bubble, because we can fix it really fast. Whatever it is that it's not working, we can fix it. You know, I have fixed things on my iPad in traffic. Just pull over, open Bubble, and see what's going on. And that's what I love about the product, because I don't think that if you are gonna found a new company, I don't think that technology should stress you out. It should be a tool in order to make money of it. Right. So it should be really good. It should be stable. It should be really made with the most, with the latest technology. And you should. It's just a tool. It doesn't have to be your whole life. You know. Yeah. It's a tool to make money.
We should put that as one of the quotes in Twitter. It's a tool. It doesn't have to be your whole life. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. For a lot of people, it is actually. So yeah, that's a great takeaway for all you people out there. It's a tool. Remember that. Another question. There are a few questions about Enelinternet. People are really vibing about this. So it's a more technical question from people listening. So how is the data actually stored in the marketplace? So meaning, are you storing like one big like entity for all the customers, or is it a dynamic website for each customer per country? Basically, what I'm think that we're trying to being asked here is it a separate website per each store, or all these all stores within your one bigger marketplace application? So is it a one application with all the different facets?
It's a really big one application. We inside the application, if you open in our Bubble account, on the internet.com, you can see all the data containers, and that's where all the data is stored. We don't have like one for each customers. We just have one huge one, and that's where everything gets stored.
Pretty cool. And we're coming back to the monetization question. So 400 plus businesses is a lot of businesses. So and Bubble, although it's very, very accessible, is also not free. So what's your model for keeping this afloat? Basically, if people are not paying for using your service, how are you keeping this sustainable for yourself, like in the big picture?
Our company pays for everything. This one is free, but we do have paying customers that we charge them, and then it's. I think the more you give, the more you get back. I really think about it, and if you can be of service and be and really help grow your community and help the people out there make their ends meet, you know, it's really important that you can do it. And then we have all these paying customers that have rewarded us with making, you know what happened? We had like 2 or 3 of these customers that went inside our app and then called me and told me, you look like you really know your stuff. So I was looking around and I won't look around anymore. I want you to build my app. So
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many similarities. It starts to get suspicious, man, because we actually had a very similar experience with doing a lot of things and giving it out to people, telling a lot of things to people. And then somehow this was coming back to us in a totally different shape and form. For instance, for ours, we also have we don't have a marketplace, but we're building templates, we're building plugins, we're building courses, and we're also offering services. A lot of these things are basically interconnected to one each other. So we're, let's say, offering a free educational video on YouTube. People are finding us, they're exploring our stuff, we're talking to them, and in the end, they may end up buying something or telling it to their friend, and then that friend comes to explore, and then maybe he'll jump on a free course, maybe he'll jump on a paid course. I mean, you're giving out a lot of stuff, as you said. People are feeling that you're helping them in a lot of ways. They're spreading the word, and you're getting the business. So, yeah, that's a great advice. I think that if I may summarize, that in a lot of ways, it feels good. It is good if you are helping people out there, which are you can help, and then it just comes back to you in a lot of different shape and form. Not necessarily the money from the very beginning, but in a lot of cases, that will be the money. So yeah, for all of you entrepreneurs out there, definitely do something useful. Reach out to people and help them out. See how can you address their pains, and in a lot of cases, you will get paid for that one way or another. So don't worry about it. Pretty cool. So another question, you started to talk about the future for Enelinternet, meaning the more features, more maybe sections about the real estate and such. What else do you have in mind? I mean, what's the next big project, or are you staying on this one and trying to make it more and more useful for more people? What's your plan, like say in the next 6 months? What's exciting?
Well, actually, I need this. I think if you're gonna own an app, it's really important for you to focus on it.
Yeah.
Because one of the mistakes that I have seen some of my customers make is that they build a software and expect it to be the next Uber, and that's not gonna happen. So it's really important for you to focus on it and to keep listening to the market and to evolve with it. It's really important to evolve. If you're gonna stay alive, it's really important to evolve. So we're thinking of creating some voice skills for this app using another software or whatever. We're thinking of predicting customers' behavior in the future. Using statistics, but you have to get all the data, and we will just keep adding value to this tool. We are available for any country that wants to use it. It's available. If we have to translate to Chinese, we'll find a way to do it. I don't speak Chinese, but if in China they want to use the internet, well, right now it's ready for Latin America. We're getting requests from Latin American countries. We just got one from Ecuador that is way down in South America.
Nice.
Yeah, we have the time. We're willing to invest our time, because one of the things that we have to configure for each country is the payment plugin that it's going to use for monetization for the stores, and it varies, because down here in Guatemala, we don't have Stripe. They have Stripe in Mexico. So for Mexico, we're using Stripe. For Guatemala, we're using other systems. So it's every country comes with its challenges, but we're willing to invest the time.
That's great. I mean, definitely that's one way to make things work. Focus on it, make sure you grow the value for your customers, and explore new possibilities. Definitely best of luck with that. There's a question from the guys. So by now, what's your runway with Bubble? So how long do you already work with Bubble as of today?
It's been as of today, it's been 2.5 years
2.5
since
years.
we started developing in Bubble.
Cool.
We used to use another software for developing apps, but right now we only use Bubble. We have really come to love Bubble. We understand Bubble, and the community is great. The forum is great. Right now we are trying to develop a crypto wallet. So I'm on the forum asking for advice for the crypto wallet. We have a really important customer. As of yesterday, of the day before yesterday, El Salvador, that is our neighbor to the south, just approved the use of cryptocurrency for the country. So we have all these needs, and we're starting to develop a crypto wallet.
Exciting times.
It's been a journey, and right now I feel we're at the top of the developing curve, because we started just like watching what everybody was doing and trying to do a marketplace. You should see our first marketplace. It was horrible.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, first time of everything for everyone is usually horrible, and that's the only place to start. So if I may, I'm going to be giving advices based on your wisdom and your experience to people, if you don't mind. So yeah, this is my lesson as well, so I can very much relate to it. So if you're thinking about starting something, don't worry about it being perfect. It will probably never be. If you'll try for it to be perfect, you will probably never launch. So just launch something out there, put it out there for people to use, to play with, and get some real world feedback. That's the only way to get started. That's the only way to get to something decent. There was a very good analogy about this. I mean, so everyone knows, famous singers, podcasters, Joe Rogan. I mean, I don't know, Justin Bieber, you name it. I mean, all of these people have started very, very modestly. I mean, the first podcast of Joe Rogan was horrible. I mean, it's a horrible video, horrible sound quality. I mean, it probably wasn't even that interesting. But look at him now. I mean, he's sold his podcast to Spotify for hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, obviously, he have been doing something right. Same for Justin Bieber, and not necessarily only Justin Bieber. There's a lot of singers who were posting their videos on the internet, and they were terrible. I mean, for some of them, they're still terrible, but people are actually willing to listen to it and like it. So definitely don't be afraid to get started, and don't try to make it perfect. It will be bad before it gets good. Okay. What do you think about the future for no code and Bubble in particular, since you're involved in it the most these days? What do you think is next for it, as the industry, as for the people? You mentioned about the democratization of the tools for people. So how do you think it will affect the lives of the most of us, let's say in the coming year? Will there be something new, or will be just seeing more goodness of what we already see? What's your prediction?
Well, a couple of answers. First one, we don't understand how any developers aren't using Bubble. I think everybody should develop over Bubble. As far as we understand, we're the only ones developing over Bubble in Guatemala. We know of one other guy, but we don't understand all these companies that are still using all the code and starting from scratch, basically, and taking 6 months, 8 months, and charging upwards of $100,000 for an app.
Wow.
I think that's
nice.
Yeah, it's a nice price tag, but then you'll be able to develop one app a year or something like that.
Yeah.
In a good month, we sell 5 or 6 of them, and we develop really quickly. And I think this technology is wonderful. I think it's the future. I don't think, I think Bubble will start to gain more and more and more momentum as more and more people look at how things are developed. We have right now on the internet, Enelinternet, and it's already being used by 400 customers, by 500 companies. So if these companies look into the technology, use it, make money over it, um, it's really hard to understand why you should use anything else.
Yeah.
If it gets the job done, it gets the job done quickly.
Yep.
You get more and more plugins from the community built every day, almost every day. If you have a problem, you just go into the community, into the forum, ask for help. Everybody helps you. I don't see myself developing over anything else, you know. And I think that the technology will only get better over the time. So I think this is the future, and we're just starting with it, you know. Bubble is relatively young, and I think this is the future.
Amen to that. Yeah, we're also big believers, as our company name says, and we say basically on every corner. We also don't see a conflict here. We see only opportunities, because there's this endless debate of code versus no code. I don't think there's a reason for that debate to even exist. I mean, for most of the use cases, for most of the ideas, no code is a definite answer. I mean, there's this no-brainer. People should try it. People should learn it. People should, experiment with it. And the code can just focus on more interesting things. I mean, I know a lot of developer people who are sick and tired of doing landing pages or signups or logins. I mean, it's just not that exciting for them anymore, while they can be working on things such as Bubble or, I don't know, ETF and cryptocurrency and blockchains and all that good stuff, and expanding and pushing the technology further while we experiment with business. And as you said, it's not the purpose of life to be able to code. I mean, for some people it is, but for most people, it's a tool. It's a tool that should get things done. It's a tool that helps people, that makes businesses work, that puts food on the table. So, and the no code is a perfect definition of that. I very much agree with you here.
Yeah, and I would also like to add something. I think we're all in the same business, and the business is making money. So just go with the technology that makes more sense for you to make money from, you know? And if it makes more sense to you to use code, then use code. But I don't see it, you know? For me, nothing makes more sense than Bubble.
Yeah, same here. Okay, a couple more questions about you from young entrepreneurs just getting started. For someone starting out, how would you recommend finding clients? It's a pretty broad question, but what's your take on that?
Well, I got my first customer over Facebook. I just, I think I made a post for all my friends, telling them that, look, I can make apps now. And I remember this one friend that called me and told me, you know, I have only $1,000 to give you. Will you make my app? I made the app. And then his customers came in contact with the app, and I sold 2 more apps out of him. And that's where it all started. You know, I don't get my customers from marketing. I get them from referral. So it's really good business to have the app running, not to have a dead app. You know, it's really important for us for our customers to have their app up, running, making money, and that's referral is everything, I think, in this world.
Yeah, definitely works the best. I agree.
Yeah.
There's a question about whether you're working alone or there are more developers on your team. So how do you work with that?
I can hardly say that I develop. I sell. You know, I take care of selling. I love to hear my customers. I love to go visit my customers and to make the app sell. That's what I do. I have 2 partners that they develop. They really develop, and they love developing. You know, 1 hour into our meetings, I get bored and start looking at Facebook just to hearing them, you know, but they love it. They're always looking for new plugins and new ways to solve our problems. And so the company is 3 people.
Awesome. I think that's another classical combination. You have a lot of classical cases here for us right now. Yeah, the builder and the seller. That's definitely the best combination out there. Usually there are 2 different people. And in your case, there are 3 different people, which is even better, right? So That's awesome. A question about your customers, I guess, about your selling and talking to people and explaining Bubble to them. Do people frequently ask questions about how their data is stored? I guess this is related to security or otherwise, understanding how exactly the data about the applications is being stored.
Yeah, it's really important. We have the whole security credentials for the data. Bottle send them to us over an Excel. So I just send that to all the customers. But we develop for really big companies, transnational companies. We have defended bubbles to their IT managers or their CTOs over in India or Germany. I have done that we have a couple of really big companies, and everybody approves everything that over Bubble. I think it's really secure, it's really stable. The customers know where their data is, and it's really well protected, and cool. I think that's important.
That was a question related to that about whether Bubble is a fit for large enterprises. So what's your experience on that? You said that you're working with some of the companies that are bigger than, let's say, the e-commerce store, right? So how do you find Bubble working out for them? What kind of things that they're usually doing with Bubble and how it's beneficial for them?
Yeah, I think these companies love the short go-to-market time. That's really important for them, and we usually don't know what our competing companies charge them for it, but I think we have really competitive prices that we're able to give to them because our developing time is really short. But I cannot tell you some of the names of them, but they're really happy with it, and they're transnational companies, really huge transnational companies. We have developed some softwares for controlling some of their processes inside the companies, and some of them have really big data usage inside of Bubble, and they're happy with it.
That's very cool, because a lot of talk and perception is that Bubble is basically for just trying things out, and once you get to something quote unquote serious, you have to change, and that's definitely not for big businesses. We also had experience working with bigger companies, same as you, and I guess the biggest advantage, same as for you, is the speed. I mean, they're usually people who are used to sending out 3 features and waiting for 3 months for that to be done and paying $30,000 for it, and they're blown out of the water by the fact that while you're on the phone with them, you can actually complete 50% of the items that they've sent you, and they're like, okay, is this real? I mean, what's the catch? I mean, you just completed what I was just saying to you right now. You're just yeah, I did it on my iPad right here. So that's definitely a new experience for bigger companies. Yeah.
And there's just a downside for it, because if you, we have some customers that have experienced the fastness in which we develop, that they've started selling, look, you're charging us too much for it.
Yeah, I know.
You're really fast, and this should be really easy. Yeah. Oh, be my guest and try to do it yourself. That's the only downside that we've found for developing so fast.
Yeah, sometimes it's too fast for, I agree. It's a different kind of problem, right? It's a good problem to have. You're too fast. Okay. People are asking for contacts of how do people get in contact you for instance, maybe they want to work with your agency.
Yeah, I'm gonna give everyone my email so everybody can contact me directly.
Is there anywhere else where you're present? Maybe Facebook, Instagram, Twitter? What's your go-to place?
Actually, nope. We don't have. I don't have that much time. We have a Facebook account somewhere. You can look for it. But no, actually, if you could write me over the email, you get really fast response from myself. We have an Instagram account, we have a Facebook account, but those were marketing attempts in order to sell more apps. Didn't work, so we don't post that much things right now. Also, if you want to go, I'll just send you the app we talked about. And there you can find a little WhatsApp bottom at the bottom of the app, and that's me.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's a very direct communication channel. Pretty cool. So sales@hivetech.com and www.enelinternet.com are the go-to places where you can talk with Frederick and his team and discuss new possibilities and maybe use some of his product or build your own. People, go ahead and do that. Last question, and I think it's also something that people exploring Bubble can relate to, is did you have any difficulties with the local legislation, such as necessity to keep the database or personal data locally in your country? I don't know what's the policy in Guatemala for this, but some of the European countries are worried about their data not being stored in their country, and that is that there's a lot of ways to technically solve this. But have you faced that issue, and if yes, then
well, we don't have legislation here in Guatemala about it. And mostly what I tell our customers is, look, we're a US company. It's like if you're using Uber or WhatsApp or whatever, or Facebook or Instagram, software as service based in the United States, and we will take care of your data.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, it's happening every day with a lot of services that people use. I agree. Pretty cool. So what do you think, if you would suggest to people like 3 new ideas that they can explore right now for their new businesses, maybe using a template, maybe using Bubble, maybe using both, maybe not using any one of them, what would you recommend as 3 perspective, maybe 2, I don't know, maybe 5, up to you, perspective directions of what people can try, what's really interesting on the market for which the no code is a good solution?
Yeah, I think building communities is really powerful, because you see all these communities being built inside Facebook, for example, all the Facebook groups, and we have groups for selling, but Facebook lacks the tools that you need in order to complete a sale inside Facebook. So I think selling communities are really important and really powerful, and that's where I will start right now. I just told somebody yesterday or the day before yesterday, imagine a Facebook that would map all your needs, all the things that you buy over a month. Then imagine what you could do with all this data together, and you can do it on Bubble, and you can do it really fast. The thing is making it work. We will start developing, we have this idea where you can post inside this community what you need to buy every month, and also what you sell. And maybe you can start trading, don't really need money for it. If you can apply a value to the service that you provide, and the value is confirmed over the one, I will take, for example, a car from you, and I will develop your app, for example. We don't need money to make that expensive.
Yeah, pretty cool. By the way, about that, there was a question also in the list. So if we understand correctly, you did not have any investors. You launched the application yourself, totally bootstrapped, just based on your skill and template.
And faith.
Yeah, and faith. Yeah, and grace, I guess. Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, Frederick, I think you've been an inspiration for a lot of people on this call, for people who will be watching this video, for people who will be checking out your notes and maybe talking to you in your WhatsApp. We are very thankful to have you here. We appreciate you very much for sharing your story and sharing a lot of inspiration. I think this positive approach is something that got you here and will get you there. And I think this is the biggest takeaway for people that are with us tonight. I mean, believe in yourself, do something great for other people. Don't worry about it too much. Fail early, learn it, Try and explore it, and don't be afraid to experiment. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the community and the people watching this video?
Well, I'm all about giving. If I can be of help to anybody, please reach out to me, and I promise you I will answer you as soon as possible. And I would like to thank you and Zeroqode for the opportunity to reach so many people all over the world. It's been great. And let's stay connected, everyone.
Thank you, Frederick. This is great. Absolutely. This is inspiring. And yeah, I'll maybe one of the people reaching out to you on your WhatsApp later these days about my ideas.
I think some of your people already have my WhatsApp. Olga, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, Frederick. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been a blast. I think I personally have a lot of takeaways. People are also saying that they are very inspired and very interested in the interviews. So thanks again, everyone. Have a wonderful morning, day, and night, depending on where you are. And stay tuned. There's more to come. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.